She forgot her cloud album was synced to our TV. I walked in and saw her girls' trip was really a couple's getaway. I took a screenshot, sent it to her dad. Then turned off the TV. And the relationship. I never thought I'd be the guy writing one of these. I always figured if a relationship ended, it would be over something simple, life pulling us in different directions, or just growing apart. I never expected it to crash like this. But it did. And I want to tell it exactly how it happened, because it still messes with my head. I'm 34, live in Boise, Idaho. I work construction, concrete work, framing, roofing. I've got a decent truck, a small house, a dog named Tuck, and I don't ask for much. I've always been the kind of guy who believes in showing up, doing your part, and not lying to the people who love you. Simple stuff, right? Caitlin was different from the women I dated before. She was organized. Polished. The kind of woman who color-coded her closet and had matching luggage sets. She worked HR at a hospital, always dressed nice, and had that way of talking that made people trust her. She made you feel like she had your back. We were together 5 years. Lived together 3. We talked about marriage, kids, getting a second dog. She had a whole Pinterest board for our future home. I thought I'd found my person. She had this group of college friends, Michelle, Amanda, Tori, and Jess. They did brunches, weekend getaways, holiday parties. I met them a few times. They seemed like nice people, if a bit too into wine tastings and Instagram stories. Caitlin was closest with Amanda. They called each other soul sisters. In May, Caitlin told me the girls were planning a wine trip to Napa Valley. 4 days. Just them. No guys. No social media. We need a reset, she said. No drama, no makeup, just wine and laughs. She showed me the Airbnb listing. A cozy little villa with a vineyard view. Said they were splitting the cost. Told me not to worry about money or anything else, she had it all handled. I didn't think twice. That Friday morning, she left early. Had her suitcase by the door, a neck pillow around her neck, and a bottle of champagne she said was for airport mimosas. Gave me a kiss on the cheek and said, "Try not to miss me too much." I watched her get in the Uber, smiling like she was headed to Disneyland. That night, she called around 9. Said they'd just finished dinner. "We're exhausted," she said, "but happy." This was overdue. Every night after, she'd call for a few minutes. Just long enough to check in. Said the reception was bad, which was why she couldn't FaceTime. I didn't question it. I've worked enough jobs out in the mountains to know signals can suck. But then came Tuesday. It was a long day. We were pouring a driveway that kept cracking from the sun, and by the time I got home around 6:30, I was beat. I cracked a beer, fed Tuck, and turned on the TV. That's when it started. Our TV, a smart Samsung, has a photo frame feature that kicks in when it's idle. It pulls photos from cloud accounts linked to it. Caitlin set it up a year ago so we could show our vacation photos during our Christmas party. I hadn't thought about it since. I sat down, and the TV started running a slideshow. First photo, Caitlin in a hot tub. In a black bikini I didn't recognize. She was straddling a guy, he had short hair, full sleeve tattoos, and his hand was on her thigh. They were kissing. I stared. My body locked up. Next photo, her and the same guy walking through a vineyard, holding hands. She had a sundress on. They were smiling at each other like something out of a damn Hallmark movie. Then, the two of them in bed. Not under the covers, on top. Sheets bunched around them. Her hand on his chest. His head tilted toward her neck. Candles in the background. Timestamp, Saturday, 3:23 p.m. I froze. Beer still in my hand. My heart was pounding like I just sprinted uphill. She'd called me at 8 p.m. that day. Said they were back in the villa, playing cards. I remember because she laughed and said, "We're all in pajamas like old ladies." I stared at the screen, my stomach turning. I backed out of the photo album, pulled up the full stream. It wasn't just 3 photos. There were at least 40. Some were selfies of the two of them, kissing in restaurants, lying in hammocks, his arms around her waist. One photo was of Caitlin holding a wine glass with "Matt plus Kate" written in cursive across the rim. Another was just their feet tangled in white sheets. I felt sick. I took a photo of the TV with my phone. One of the hot tub ones. Clear view of both their faces. I didn't send it to Caitlin. I sent it to her dad. Tom. Retired Air Force. Wore American flag pins even to church. He was a proud man, but fair. He treated me with respect, and I tried to return that. I never gave him a reason to doubt me. I sent him the photo with one line, "Thought you should know what your daughter was doing on her girls' trip." Then I shut off the TV. Packed a bag. Left the house. I went to my brother's place on the edge of town. Crashed on his couch and didn't say much that night. Just stared at the ceiling. The next morning, Tom called. His voice was flat. Quiet. "Thank you for telling me," he said. "I had no idea." "I'm sorry, son." He paused, then said, "Whatever happens next, I'm here if you need anything." That meant a lot. I didn't go home that week. Not even to grab more clothes. Caitlin called me 7 times that first night. Left voicemails crying, asking where I was, telling me we needed to talk. I didn't answer. I didn't want to hear lies from someone who'd already said too much. But by the second day, the messages changed. She stopped pretending. One voicemail said, "You had no right to send that to my dad." That was personal. Another one. "Matt didn't mean anything. It was just a trip. I needed space. By day 3, you embarrassed me. My dad won't even talk to me now. You're not perfect either. And finally, if you don't come home and talk to me, I'll make sure everyone knows how controlling you were. Don't think you'll come out of this clean." That last message hit different. Because it was a threat. Caitlin wasn't used to losing control. In our whole relationship, she always had the upper hand. She was the planner, the one people listened to. She was great at making people believe her version of things. She knew how to twist stories just enough to come out looking like the victim. So I stayed quiet. Watched her unravel from a distance. Then something happened I didn't expect. Her friend Amanda, her soul sister, reached out to me. Amanda and I had barely spoken before. Just enough to say hi at get-togethers. She was always polite, but never friendly. But now she was calling me. I let it go to voicemail. "Hey. It's Amanda. Look, I don't know what Caitlin told you, but I thought you should know, I wasn't on that trip. None of us were. She told us she was going alone. Said she needed me time and was cutting off the world. I only just found out Matt went with her. I don't want to be involved, but you deserve the truth." I listened to that message 3 times. So the whole girls' trip was a lie from the start. She'd planned a romantic getaway and used her friends as a cover. Then lied about it to me, to Amanda, to everyone. The betrayal went deeper than cheating. It was manipulation on all sides. That weekend, I went back to the house while I knew she was at work. I walked in, and everything looked the same. But it didn't feel the same. The bed? Betrayal. The kitchen? Full of fake memories. The couch? Where I sat waiting for her to call, while she was wrapped in someone else's arms. I packed what I needed. Clothes. Tools. My dog's things. I took my name off the lease 2 days later. She tried contacting me again, this time through her mom, who texted me saying Caitlin was emotionally broken and deserved a second chance. Her dad, though? He sent me another message. Proud of how you handled yourself. Don't let her guilt you. You didn't destroy the relationship, she did. I screenshotted it. Just in case I ever doubted myself again. And here's where things got messy. About a month after I moved out, I heard from a coworker that Caitlin had posted on Facebook that I'd ghosted her after she came back from helping a sick friend through a crisis. She painted it like I had abandonment issues, said I refused to communicate, and walked away without closure. I didn't respond. But people started asking questions. Friends from our church group, people from work. Some gave me weird looks. Some didn't say anything at all. Then someone showed me the post. And something clicked. She was rewriting the story. Painting herself as the victim, me as the villain. And to a lot of people, she was believable. But not to Tom. And not to Amanda. And not to me. I knew I had one more card to play. I just had to figure out when to play it. I held off on doing anything for a while. Let her run her mouth. Let people pick sides. I stayed quiet, stayed calm, and kept working. My brother let me stay in his basement for a few months. He didn't ask questions, just handed me a beer every night and let me sit with the silence. But I watched her from a distance. Every couple days, someone would forward me something Caitlin posted. Passive-aggressive quotes about being strong after betrayal, photos of her healing journey, comments from people calling me trash, fake friends clapping in the comments. And then came the final twist that changed everything. She got engaged. To Matt. 2.5 months after I moved out, she posted a photo of the ring on her hand, same hand that used to rub my neck when I was falling asleep. The caption? Sometimes life gives you who you were meant to be with. Even when the path is messy. It got over 300 likes. Amanda sent it to me with one line, she moved on real fast, huh? I stared at it for a long time. Something about that photo broke whatever thread of kindness I had left. I wasn't hurt anymore. I was angry. So I made a decision. I never wanted revenge just for the sake of it. But if she was going to keep rewriting history and dragging my name through the mud, I wasn't going to let her get away with it. So I started gathering everything I had. The photos from the TV. The voicemail where she threatened to ruin me. Screenshots of her fake posts about helping a sick friend. Amanda's message admitting no one went on the girls' trip. Then I called a friend of mine, Chris, who runs a small podcast about relationships and real-life breakups. It's local, nothing huge, but his episodes get shared a lot. He'd asked me months ago to come on and talk about what happened. Back then, I said no. Now, I said yes. We recorded the episode in one take. I laid it all out, how she lied, the Synced Cloud album, what I saw, what she said, how she tried to spin the story. I didn't use her last name. I didn't even use her first name on the mic. Just, my ex. But I told the truth. Every word of it. Chris uploaded it under the title, When the Smart TV Knows the Truth. It got traction fast. First local listeners. Then people from other states. Then someone shared it in a Cheating Survivor Facebook group. Within a week, it hit 250,000 plays. And then? People started connecting the dots. They found Caitlin's engagement post. Matched it with the timing in the episode. Realized she had publicly claimed the girls' trip happened at the same time this story was described. I didn't confirm it. I didn't deny it. But the comments started piling up under her post. Is this the trip where you helped a sick friend? Girl, someone just aired your dirty laundry. Y'all really went hot tubbing behind someone's back, huh? Is this Matt the trainer from Boise? She panicked. She made her account private. Then deleted a bunch of posts. Then sent me a 3-paragraph email titled, "You had no right." I didn't even open it. Instead, I forwarded it to Tom. A week later, Tom called me. He told me she'd come crying to him, blaming everyone but herself. Tried to say the podcast was slander. Tom said he looked her dead in the eye and said, "Don't dish out pain if you can't take it back." After the podcast blew up, I kept to myself. I didn't post anything. I didn't respond to anyone who messaged me. I let the storm do what storms do, tear down whatever wasn't built on truth. But Caitlin? She went into full meltdown mode. She messaged me every few days, swinging between begging and threatening. She even sent me one of those closure letters, full of fake apologies, trying to soften everything she did. She wanted me to take the podcast down. I never responded. I didn't need to. Because the truth had already taken root. A week after the podcast hit peak attention, Amanda called me again. This time, her voice was shaking, with laughter. "Matt's gone," she said. Packed his stuff and moved out. Apparently, Matt didn't like the spotlight. Didn't like being the villain. His gym started losing clients. Some woman came in and asked him if he was the hot tub guy. That's when he snapped. He told Caitlin she'd dragged him into a mess, and he was out. Just like that. No ring. No wedding. Just ghosted. Caitlin, who once had her whole life planned down to color-coded bins in our closet, was now alone. I'd like to say I felt sorry for her. But I didn't. I felt done. Clean. Like something heavy had finally slid off my shoulders. I wasn't innocent either, though. Looking back, I saw all the signs. The late-night texts. The sudden need for space. The guarded look in her eyes that showed up months before Napa. I didn't want to believe she could be that cold. I ignored my gut. I let myself get too comfortable. I didn't cheat. I didn't lie. But I also didn't listen to my instincts. That's on me. A few weeks later, I went back to the old house. Just for a second. I sat in my truck across the street, looking at the front porch. She wasn't home. Someone else lived there now. New car in the driveway. A different welcome mat. I didn't feel anything. That part of my life was over. Now I rent a place closer to work. Tuck's doing good. My brother and I are closer than ever. And Tom? He calls me once a month. Sometimes just to chat. Sometimes to ask for help around his place. I'll never forget what happened. How a cloud album, something so small, so digital, so easy to overlook, brought the truth to light. Caitlin forgot her phone was synced to our TV. But I'll never forget what I saw. And I'll never let myself fall blind like that again.